Okay, if you have made it over here to reading my post, let's get into some of the demo. Before I get into that, I want to just quickly mention that there's two things right now in here, guest access code and Nile access management. My next post will be about Nile access management. For now, we're going to stick with the guest access codes. As I mentioned, it's about the outcomes. And the use case I'm thinking is somebody who is sitting at a reception welcoming guests and users does not need to access the full UI to be able to do this. And it will be very complicated for them. Or if you give them a Python script, that can be confusing for them as well. Even if somebody actually installs Python on their computer, it's not going to be very user friendly for a non-technical person, right? So what's the outcome that we're looking for? Think of somebody who's sitting at a reception, welcoming guests, somebody who is coordinating an event and need to create and generate multiple codes for the guests. And think of shared office spaces where people come in and they pay and they use like a shared office space or like a private office. If they need to actually manage something like this where they generate different kind of codes for people based on how long they're going to stay in that area. It could be for a month or a couple of hours or 8 hours or a few days or weeks and so on. Basically create a very as much user friendly UI that they're able to use, right? So let me get into it. Let's start with guest access codes. Enter in my API key, load portals. There we go. Now, there's three different portals that can be configured in Nile. One of them is a very guest specific access code portal, and we'll get into that last. Second one is generic access codes. And then third one is email guest portal. Now, email guest portal, we don't really need to do anything there because the workflow is very simple. You just request access, somebody gets an email that you specify and they approve your request and you're good to go. So as you can see, I could have made it where it's not importing that portal, but I'm just doing it for the sake of this conversation. It's grayed out, so nothing you can do with it. Let's take a look at how the generic access code portal works first. I'm going to click on that. There's a whole bunch of different options. You can view the codes, create them, edit them, delete them, switch portal, and exit to home. I'll start with view access codes. Obviously, there's nothing in there right now. I'm starting with a clean blank slate. We're going to create an access code. If you don't want the code to expire, you can just simply punch in whatever you want and create an access code. But let's say we do want it to expire. Going to use that. We'll use it for, this time to, I don't know, let's say it'll expire on Friday, the 28th, and same time, and create code. I create it successfully. I can go back, new codes, and there it is. And it shows you the start time and the end time for that as well, right there. Now, let's say you want to edit that. So we're going to copy that and do edit right there, punch in the code, find access code, and the same exact thing. I'll just choose that and I can change the dates, right? I can start from the 24th and I can end it at, I don't know, let's say the 31st. Save changes, it updated. Now, if I go back and take a look at it, it's expiring on the 31st. Well, let's say you're done with it, or for some reason you want to delete it. Simply go to delete, enter in the code. It's going to just double check that you actually want to do that. It's gone. Very simple UI for somebody to basically get in here without actually logging into the actual Nile dashboard and go through this workflow. Next, we'll switch our portal. And I want to go through the guest specific access code, which is like non-generic access codes. I'm going to click on that. There's same exact thing. View access codes. We'll start with a clean blank slate. There's nothing there currently. Let's go back. And we're going to create an access code. Now, there's three different ways or different kind of subcodes, I guess, is what you can call it, that can be created for this. One is the guest specific, and each guest will have their own code. And you can have a system generated where just system will generate the codes. It'll be a unique code for every single guest. And you can have a shared event code where this one code can apply for multiple guests. Depending on the scenario or what you got going on, it gives you the flexibility to create them. I'll start with the very first one, guest specific. Click on that. This code never expires. We already gone through this process, so I'm not going to use that right now. I'll just click next. Here, it's going to ask you how many guests you want to create that code for. You can simply say one. In that case, you'll punch in the access code, you'll punch in their name and email. Be good to go. But let's say you have more than one guest. You can have up to 10 guests. Now, it gives you a form and you have to punch in all this information for them, and you can create the codes for them. What if you have more than 10 guests? What if you have, I'm going to just use an example of 12. You have 12 guests. In that case, what I have done is, instead of making users punch in all that information, give them an ability to download a sample CSV file, fill in that information, and that information can come from possibly registration, where you can simply copy and paste that information, and then you can choose that CSV file and upload it in there. We'll go through that also to show you, but before I get there, I wanted to go through all the other options first. So this is how you can generate a unique guest-specific access code. Next is system generated, right? Same exact thing. We can go through this option, but for now we won't, because we've already seen how this works. We'll continue. Just do it one for now, and guest name, guest email, punch that in there, create an access code. Now, pay attention. It has only two options. The very first option that when we looked at, that one was asking you to specify a guest access code. But what if you don't want to specify that? You just want the system to just generate random codes for you. That's when you'll use this option. I'll use an example. It's let's go back and take a look at it. See, it just generated this code right there. System generated code for me. It will do the same exact thing if you want to use a CSV file, or if you want to use, fill out up to 10 guests, their names. What if you want to delete this? What do we do? So it's a little bit different from an access code, because access code has no email associated with it. There's no actual email or person mapped to it. So if you want to delete it, you don't use an access code to delete it. You actually have to use the guest email, because that's the unique identifier. You use that to actually delete that. I'll go back over here. It's going to ask you for the guest email. You have to type it twice. It finds it, prompts you, and delete. View access codes. It's gone. Let's go back to the create access codes, shared event. That's the last option. So because it's one code that will apply to multiple users, different workflow, all we need to do is specify code, how many guests you want to use this for. You can say, I want to use it for 50 guests. Continue. You basically, same exact thing. If it's 50 guests, you have to use the CSV file to upload their information. And if it's less than 50, I don't know, we'll just, less than 10. Let's just use one for now. Then it's going to just ask you for their guest name and email. What it will do is it will then associate the code that you specified to all those 50 guests or 10 guests or 20 guests, depending on the number. Let me actually go through the process of now creating that. So I'll start with this option. I think it makes more sense. We'll do every single thing. We'll make sure that these will expire, uh, start today, and then expire on Friday. And I can hit continue. How many guests I want to create this for? I'll do 12 because I have the sample CSV file ready. So I don't have to create a new one. To the CSV file. Here's my CSV file. And it's just imported all that information. Create 12 access codes. Done. Now I can go back and I can view all my access codes. They are all right over here. And that's pretty much it. You can exit out of this completely, or you can switch a portal. Now, keep in mind the way I have built this, if I switch a portal, it keeps me in there. However, if I go to exit to tools home, the way I'm doing this is saving the API key in the memory and not storing it anywhere else. So if you refresh the page or if you go back to the main page, it's not storing it in cache and all that. So it just kind of disappears, trying to add some security around it. But feel free to test this out. And if you have any questions, let me know. I would love to also find out if you would like to see a certain feature in there and how it can be made even more interesting and user friendly.
Thank you. And please keep an eye out for my next blog around access management.